Hello, I'm Bernie Leving, Congregational Care Pastor here at Palma, Ceia United Methodist. Welcome to this week's edition of PrayerCast. Several days ago, in one of the books I use for my own personal daily devotions, and it's called Through Seasons of the Heart, written by John Powell, a Jesuit priest, I read, there are two ways to change. We can think our way into a new way of acting, or we can act our way into a new way of thinking. Those words reminded me of my work as an Army chaplain back in the late 1970s after the disestablishment of the Women's Army Corps and the integration of women into the Army in all units other than those that were designated as close combat. Many of the male old-timers were having a very difficult time with getting it into their heads about this change. The changes this necessitated: integrated barracks and dining facilities, having to lead and counsel female soldiers, and having women in the morning PT runs. As much as we could, we chaplains tried to help by suggesting that perhaps they first change their behavior, like no longer singing the sexist, raunchy cadence songs they used during the unit runs, and that they might change their behavior, then their thinking might follow. And you know, in most cases, it worked. Change is never easy. Change means to think or act outside our comfort zones, those familiar places where we feel safe, secure, and in control. The same thing is true in our living out of our Christian faith. In his letter to the church at Rome, the Apostle Paul wrote, "Do not let yourselves be shaped by what everyone else does, but rather let yourselves be transformed by a whole new way of thinking," and I might add, or acting, "and so you can discern what conforms to God's will, namely what is good and pleasing and perfect." If we're going to grow in our faith, if we're going to mature in our walk on the discipleship pathway of following Jesus, we have to be open to God's Spirit to stretch us out of our comfort zones, to think and act as never before. For many of us, that's the only way we can live out Jesus' teachings, like, if anyone strikes you on the right cheek, turn the other cheek. If anyone wants to take your coat, give them your cloak as well. Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. If you are ready to be open to allow your life to be changed by God's Spirit at work in you, if you are ready to receive God's grace as gift to stretch you out of your comfort zones as a Christian, look out. There is no predicting what your life will look like. The sky is the limit. Some of the prayer of St. Francis is a stretching prayer for me, and I want to pray that now. Make me an instrument of your peace, O Lord. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, your pardon. Where there is despair, your hope. Where there is darkness, your light. Where there is sadness, your joy. Amen. God bless your week. We would love to see you in church on Sunday.